Hello y'all, this is Kaiserredux, a standalone expansion for the well-known Kaiserreich mod that focuses on fun and interesting scenarios over grounded lore and realism. The Kaiserreich timeline itself takes place in a world where the Central Powers won World War I. We're going to be playing as the Hellenic state, a country otherwise known as Greece. Looking at our starting national spirits, we have German-owned industry, Austrian-owned industry, Memories of the King, Legacy of Alexander, and Thunderbolt Regency. A couple of these are good, the rest aren't that great. The army has 9 divisions, 7 being infantry and 2 being cavalry, and we do have a navy, but with a single fleet that at the very least has a battleship. Looking at the army commanders, we got more than enough generals and 2 field marshals, which will do just fine. Turning our attention to the Navy commanders, there is more than enough admirals, let's just say that. In the military research department, we got basic weapons, early tanks, basic artillery, and the first kind of fighter airplane a country can get. The very first focuses we'll do in the focus tree are Prepare for War, El Nico Stratos, Faber Grand Battle Plan, and Hellenic Mountaineers. That last one will give us a free unit once it is completed. One thing that may be noticed is that Thessalonica and the land around it is cut off from the Greece mainland because Bulgaria controls Salonika. Needless to say, one of our first objectives is to take that land from the Bulgarians, be it by peace or by force. Some background history on Greece. Up to this point, they lost World War I, King Alexander fled into exile, and the Third Republic was declared. It didn't go very well, so Gyrios Kandilis took over in 1926 and declared himself the permanent regent. The country remains under his grip, but there are different factions vying for control. Afghanistan goes to war, but more important to us is the death of Gyrios Kandilis from a heart attack. With no heir to speak of, a coalition congress is formed to temporarily rule the country. Gyrios Papandreou of the social liberal ideology is the country leader for the time being, but elections are coming in January 1938. The German economic collapse, that is Black Monday, reaches Greece. Our economy takes a huge hit and political power is lost, but monarchist sympathies in the nation go up. Prepare for War is completed, and so is the Black Monday focus since it got bypassed. Speaking of which, we'll have to begin addressing that issue by doing the focuses, the farming crisis, and foreign-owned industries. The Commune of France and the German Empire go to war in February 1936, and the farming crisis is causing the growth of radical agrarian sentiment since farmers are stuck with crops they cannot sell due to the collapse of the European markets. The sequel to World War I has started just a tad bit earlier than I expected. With Germany away at war, Crete has become Greek once again. Besides getting another core state, we also got a little bit of political power. Another event concerning Crete, this occasion is deemed the second Enosis, and we get more political power. Every little bit of that counts since we're trying to get out of the negative in that area. Unions march in Thessalia, let's go the option of cracking down on them. Independence Day is celebrated in late March. Words are said about a new spirit being born in Greece by a bishop. Responding to the farming crisis, we have 2 choices here, but let's go with the first one that says help them out as much as we can to increase monarchist sympathies. Foreign-owned industry, like the last event, will go with the option that increases monarchist sympathies, even if it will cost 200 political power. Other than that, it will result in a bailout for the Austrian and German investments. In the focus tree, let's do the focuses, nationalize vital companies, take out loans, the Board of Industry, advancements in mining, Greek railways, begin land reform, and full recovery. Once all these are done, Black Monday will be behind us. The leader of the Social Conservative People's Party has died, and his replacement is his nephew. Belgium declares its independence. This puts the German Empire in an awkward position because this has happened while they are pushing into France. Mustafa Kemal seizes power in the Ottoman Empire by using recent domestic events there as an opportunity to centralize power around the position of Grand Vizier, which he holds. The Commune of France got a new ally in the form of radical socialist Norway, who just so happens to still have their king. Russia goes to war with the German Empire. This will put Ukraine and White Ruthenia under pressure and open up a whole new front for the Germans to deal with. Latvia and Riga start fighting, and Finland has joined the German faction. They may regret that since Russia is now going to attack them.
The Congress of Belgrade. Basically, Serbia wants us to join their faction with the aim of teaming up to fight Bulgaria to end their domination of the Balkans. Sure, let's join the Belgrade Pact. It's official, we're in, and Riga fights another country. It looks like Serbia also got Romania in the faction, so that's going to make it 3 versus 1 once the war with Bulgaria begins. News event about the Belgrade Pact. The 3 Balkan Entente members have come together to form a military alliance, each with revanchist views of their own, and they are all looking to knock Bulgaria down a peg. Full recovery is finished. Now let's do Elniko Stratos, military innovations, invest in armaments, the Picardo deal, and then the rest of those military focuses I meant to do earlier. The Entente is moving to reclaim Europe. This means that the Kingdom of Canada and Desert France is trying to take Britain and France respectively. Serbia just completed ultimatum to Bulgaria. War is just around the corner and Greece is going to get involved in it. Bulgaria has refused the ultimatum to hand over all the territories they seized from us and our allies during the First World War. Left with no other option, we'll have to join the Fourth Balkan War. Our divisions are split into 2 groups, though we may abandon Thessalonica because it might be more optimal to concentrate all of our forces in one area. We receive major power status for being in the war, and Romania is beginning their advance from the north. We're encouraged to capture South Macedonia in 60 days to get base war support and political power. Otherwise, if we don't, we will lose war support and political power, so we're trying to focus all of our soldiers on taking South Macedonia. The Ottoman Empire declared war on the Tsardom of Bulgaria. This makes it 4 versus 1. We're making progress. We did lose a state as expected, but did take a little bit of land and isolate a couple Bulgarian divisions. We got Western Salonika, which is good. Now we just got to push onward and retake Thessalonica and maybe grab some more land. If we're fast enough, let's hope we reach Eastern Salonika and Western Thrace because we have claims on those states. Iran declared war on the Ottomans. That will definitely pull some of the troops they had on the front lines in Bulgaria back to the east. Armenia has an uprising. This means that they will be fighting the Ottoman Empire alongside Iran. Bulgaria is defeated. We'll just take whatever we have claims on first, and after that we'll get anything that is still up for grabs. In the focus tree, a couple focuses are bypassed in a branch I did not realize even existed. Oh well. We got a few new decisions like leaving the Balkan Pact and restore order in Western Thrace and Eastern Salonika, which involves integrating those states into Greece. Assyria appears in the Middle East and joins the Let's Fight the Ottomans club. Elections have arrived and Assyria has died. Anyway, in the election, let's go with the social conservatives because monarchist sympathies. As soon as possible in the focus tree, we're going to start a referendum on the monarchy. The referendum begins, word is sent to former King Alexander, and the next couple of months will be difficult until the vote is actually held. Monarchists walk in the streets of the big cities. Let's allow them to distribute their pamphlets instead of suppressing them. Some government advisors want to start a Republican campaign to deter monarchism. Let's go with the option to discourage talks about this within the government. Wealthy Greek aristocrats are buying up influence within the government. Let's allow it, as it will push the country closer to a monarchy restoration. The syndicalists are holding a rally in Athens. We got 2 options. Let's go with the one that will have the police break it up. More action in Athens. Republicans are rioting. This riot will be shut down with extreme prejudice. The monarchists have the advantage in the referendum. We could rig it, but let's just accept the results no matter what they are. Serbia declares war on Illyria, and we have a monarchist victory. We'll have to choose who will assume the throne, be it Alexander, the legitimate choice, or George, the more popular choice, who should have been the heir but never was king. In the focus tree, we'll do monarchist victory, go with King Alexandros, and then start another part of the tree with ancient glories. With monarchists in control, the Socialist, Agrarian, Rural Democratic Front is seeing a rise in members. In response, we'll ban all syndicalist and socialist parties from taking part in the elections. Alexandros I is our new country leader. We also got a new flag, and the country is now named the Kingdom of Greece. The Austrian Empire invites us to their alliance. We'll decline and tell them we're doing fine on our own. Alexandros, or Alexander of Greece, historically was king from 1917 to 1920. He became king after his father and older brother were exiled for not supporting the Entente. He had no political experience and was reduced to the status of a puppet king. Though that said, under his reign, the territorial extent of Greece grew. He had a controversial marriage to a commoner in 1919, and in 1920, 2020 would die to the effects of a monkey bite. Ancient Glories is done. Next, we'll do National Rebirth, then maybe 4 Centuries of Vengeance, which when that is done, we'll declare war on the Ottoman Empire. The Sultanate of Egypt might declare war on the Ottomans soon because they're justifying on their subject. Oh, and Iran lost their war. So did Armenia, but they got annexed. The rebirth of a nation. A country is to undergo a national rebirth and create a new state that harkens back to the traditions of the ancient Hellenics, as modern liberal democracy has failed Greece, according to this event. Since we're not going to war yet, let's do the focus is Return of the Akrati. The name is referring to a Byzantine army unit, and then after that, the Art of War. We are presented with 2 military strategy plans to take inspiration from ancient Greece and Byzantium. Let's go with the new Komnenian army. This will give us more recruitable population, buffs to division attack and defense, as well as a better reinforce rate. Since Egypt isn't doing much, let's complete the focus that will make Greece at war with the Ottoman Empire once it is done. Our army marches to the enemy front lines. There is a bit uncertainty in this conflict as we are currently the only country the Ottoman Empire is at war with. Let's complete the focuses, retake Constantinople and dominate Anatolia, because both of them will give us cores on states that are very close to us geographically speaking. The soldiers are performing pretty well as they make their way to the enemy capital, and a cavalry division has been placed at Bursa to prevent any sort of surprise counterattacks. The Ottomans, Coloniaman, and Constantinople has been captured by the Greeks. The Ottomans under siege in the Middle East. One can only presume Egypt has started fighting them too, which is great news for us. A counter-revolution has emerged in the form of Anatolian Kurdistan. Everything is going so wrong for the Ottoman Empire. They did so well with Iran, but now they're fighting Egypt, us, and apparently the Entente. If you want to know how the German-French War worked out, well, let's just say the German Socialist Republic exists. More focuses this time. Let's do Byzantine Youth second and do the Ecumenical Councils first. Caesaro-Papism. This essentially means that the king has authority over the church like the Byzantine emperors did, meaning the separation of church and state is no more. Also, ecumenical councils have been made to help settle religious matters. To deal with the youth of Greece, the National Youth Organization is established to help build a generation who will make the third Hellenic civilization, one that maintains the aesthetics of ancient Greece and the Byzantine while also modernizing. Let's do some more military focuses and make our way through them until we can start Legacy of Alexander. The Ottoman Empire defeated Kurdistan but still has to deal with Syria, who is part of the Cairo Pact with Egypt and Yemen. After seizing the city of Adana, we come into contact with Egypt and company, who turns out we are at war with too. We won one war and in the process partially made Alexander the Great's empire, while also trapping most of the Egyptian army in what would be considered Mesopotamia. If they're not able to get out of this will definitely be a disaster for the Cairo Pact and greatly weaken the defense of the Egyptian homeland. With Constantinople conquered, it will be made the new capital of Greece. This is all part of the planned resurrection of the Byzantine Empire. They're not escaping. That has to be half of Egypt's army lost in this one pocket. Let's complete the focuses. The Purple Phoenix rises, secure the south, Exarchate of Africa, and march to the north. Those last 3 I mentioned will not only give us war goals, but also war support. The founding of the new Byzantine Empire. We get a new flag. Unsurprisingly, the country name is altered, and the country color is changed to a Tyrian purple. For the first time in over 400 years, an emperor of Byzantium has been crowned. The country leader will get the trait Emperor of Byzantium. Alexandros gets a new portrait and becomes Alexandros III. The country name is now the Byzantine Empire, and we have made a large portion of the Middle East into puppets. We're getting ready to reclaim Rome. The 2 countries on the peninsula, the Italian Federation and the Socialist Republic of Italy, are at war with one another, so that will make a naval landing easier for us once we start a conflict with either of them. We are able to get naval supremacy and land our first soldiers in the city of Bari. Let's reinforce them and rapidly take over the surrounding territory. The Italian peninsula has been reunited. Sure it has, once the Byzantine Empire controls it all. After a tough fight, the Italian Federation fell and the Commune of France got some land, but we got Rome, and that is what matters. The Byzantine Synod agrees to make Rome the ceremonial capital of the empire. Constantinople will still be the place of governing for the time being, though. Greece has truly undergone a transformation, first helping defeat Bulgaria, then becoming the Byzantine Empire, and going beyond that to take Rome, the birthplace of the Roman Empire, and along the way, collecting tons of puppets. The video is going to end here. If you enjoyed the mod, make sure to check it out in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Have an awesome day. I'll see you later. Bye.